Today's video is on Gyotaku, which is a ancient Japanese art of preserving fish. Not actually preserving the fish, but preserving the story and the moment of a fish. Okay, so the story behind this one, this was actually the first yellowfin tuna that I caught. In Hawaii we call it a shibi, which is a ahi or yellowfin tuna that is under 100 pounds. This one is very far under 100 pounds, but good size. I mean, really good eating size, you know. But anyways, so this was maybe about 4 or 5 trips in on the new boat, and my one goal was to catch a yellowfin tuna or a shibi or an ahi, and this is one that really just kind of came by surprise. We had just launched late, you know, it was like 8 o'clock. Usually we launch at like 6. We'd launched late, and basically we were just heading to our spot. This was maybe like 10 minutes after launching, and I just put out a lure, and then all of a sudden I hear the ratchet. I was like, what's going on? I must have gotten stuck on something, because it had been like a minute. I started cranking my reel, and I actually had some resistance. So I was like, what is this? And within maybe about 10 minutes, I had brought in this guy, and I was freaking out because my crew, we were still kind of early on and still kind of learning the ropes. So I had, leadered in the fish right next to the boat, but my crew member missed the first gaff shot, which I was freaking out about, because this is, the one opportunity to land this guy. Finally, he got the gaff shot right in the head, luckily, and brought this guy on board. The moment that I brought this guy on board, I started yelling at the top of my lungs, hence the title of this one. And yeah, a day later I lost my voice, but it was an interesting story to tell, and it made a lot of good sushi for my wife and I and some friends, and I made some ahi tataki and poke bowls and fried katsu. So this is a really memorable piece, and it was my first Gyotaku. And of course I had to get this one done by the OG Naoki. He's located in Kaneohe. He's a very, very talented artist, one of the old timers, or the OGs of Gyotaku, and very synonymous with the word Gyotaku in Hawaii. His artwork is presented in a lot of different restaurants and businesses, because I mean, it's just the classic Gyotaku look. Oh, what you doing there? You're so cute. Alright, and enter my office, which currently has all of my Gyotaku prints besides the shibi. Right now, I don't have a current spot for a couple of them. I do have to put them out in the hallway or in my other office. But here are some of the Gyotaku pieces, and I'll go over them in just a second. The meaning behind them, some of the stories behind them, and the significance of why I decided to print them. So I'm going to start with this fish. This is a goatfish, or a Moana Kali in Hawaii. These are generally found around the reefs. They're maybe anywhere from like 6 to, I don't know, a foot long. This one was a little bit on the bigger sides for me, and this is early on when we had just started jigging. So generally, I think I've only caught Moana Kali on damashi, the little hook lines, or with jigs. And this is one of the first larger size ones that I caught. I had to print this guy because I love the colors of these guys. They have a really nice orange, purple, yellow hue to it, and just really beautiful fish. And this one was a print by Shane Hamamoto, which is another very talented Gyotaku artist on island. His Instagram is all hi Gyotaku. The caption for this one is MK for MK, because my name, and this is a Moana Kali, and yeah, check that out. It's bigger than it looks from the video, I'm sure, but yeah, just one of my favorite beautiful color kind of fish. Details on this one is pretty amazing, honestly. Okay, so this one is next. This is a Omilu, but it also is my first Ulua. So Omilus are part of the Jack family, along with, you know, papilles, yellow spots, Kagamis, pao-paos. They're all kind of in the same family. Side note, the glare is really bad on this one because it's directly in front of my window. So I apologize for that. But this is one of the more popular ones, or more common ones actually, in Hawaii. They're noted by their green and blue colors, really, really nice colors. And this one was done by Naoki as well. But the story behind this one is, this was also caught on the jig. Basically, we were going out with my friend Rev. We had met up with him and we were trying some spots. Funny story, Rev has all the same markings as me on his Garmin, same areas that we like to fish. And we didn't even, you know, we hadn't fished together previously, but it's funny, we ended up at the same marks anyways. And he had caught 2 uluas already. He had caught a 30-pounder and maybe I think a 50-pounder, or a little bit short of that. And, you know, I was all stoked to just get 1 ulua. That's all I wanted. And ulua for us in Hawaii is anything over 10 pounds, once again. So any jack over 10 pounds, rather. So we were jigging. I'm with my buddy David. And then finally hooked up on this guy. Pulled really, really hard, and it was a really tough fight. These guys are pound for pound some of the strongest fighters. And ultimately ended up getting him on board, which I was stoked about. And my friend Rev just got it on footage as well, which I'm going to show in a second. But yeah, this one was cool. My first ulua, I had to get it printed. So there's the size comparison. Kind of hard to see, but this thing, I think it came out to around 16 pounds for this one. But just really nice coloring and really nice details. They have these nice spots too, which is really cool. Yeah, and this one was, yeah, first Omilua I called it, because it's a Omilu Ulua on the jig. Alright, I'm pretty sure everyone knows this fish because it's one of the more popular fish. This is called an ono, or that's what we call it in Hawaii. Across the mainland and everywhere else, I think they call them wahoos. I think they have other names for them as well, but yeah, some of the best eating pelagic fish, best eating white meat fish, and ultimately was on my bucket list for fish to catch as I got into trolling. So kind of taking that plunge from jigging and bottom fishing to trolling, this was the goal. You know, besides the shibi, besides aku, and besides mahi, this is on the board right there. And the day I got this, I was fishing with a buddy, Tyler, on my boat. We were trolling, or actually we started off deep bottom fishing. We were just trying some new things, and that didn't get any luck, so we moved on to trolling. And actually we were trying to get from one spot to another spot. So we decided to put out some lines again. We had 2 hand lines out and 2 trolling poles out, and basically we were coming across in the usual area where, you know, onos tend to hang out. And prior to this, my goal was to try and catch an ono for the weekend, because I had spent 3 days out at sea with my wife, with some friends the day before. So this was the one goal for the weekend. Yeah, they just, one hit one of the lines, started pulling line really hard, and then we started reeling that one in, and then we noticed that the hand line was taut, so that one had one on too. And then my other, my side, port side, shotgun was going off as well. So we all 3 lines, or 3 of our 4 lines, were hit at the same time, and only landed this guy. But he was, I think, about 25 pounds, good size. for our first Ono. And Gary, located in Kaneohe as well, locally, he is the one that printed this one for me, and very, very stoked on, you know, how he captured the Ono and the colors, and it has some really cool wavy kind of skin and design. Really cool. These guys have really scary teeth as well. You can't really see it, but they're like little razor blades that can just cut through anything. So generally when you're fishing for them, you know, you have to run wire because they just bite right through the line. But yeah, good fight and super cool fish. I really wanted this one printed because it's a really long piece. It's not like, you know, the other pieces that are just like, you know, more boxy. This one is really like a really cool, almost a panoramic kind of piece. Really nice. But yeah, that's the Ono. That's my first Ono. Alright, so this next one is everyone's favorite New Year's fish, or redfish. This is my first deep bottom fish caught with my buddy Matt and Kai from Nunkles. This is on Kai's boat too. His first big, good size onaga as well. So these guys are very tricky to catch because they're very deep and they usually hang out off of the bottom. Not quite at the very, very bottom, but we're talking, you know, anywhere from like 600 to 800 feet is where these guys hang. And you can see how big his eye is. It's like, it's pretty big. Because they are just in the depths, you know, in the very dark depths. So with this day, we launched early in the dark, tried some new areas, and we're just trying to, you know, get down the hang of electric bottom fishing, you know, deep bottom fishing. And we dropped a few times, maybe got some small ehus, or nothing too great, and we were getting pretty discouraged. But, you know, we dropped once more. We got a shark, which we thought was an onaga because of the way that it was fighting all the way up. But this guy took us by surprise. Was pulling up line and then saw that it was fighting on the way up. Had to assume it was something pretty good. And this is in an area that not a lot of people catch onagas too. So, you know, we're just trying our best. But as it came up, I saw the red, and I thought it was an ehu. And then as it came up a little bit closer, I saw that it had the longer tail, and I saw what it looked like, and I was super pumped that it was a onaga. And not to mention, this onaga is a really good size one. So this is done by Naoki, and the title for this one is Deep Fortune 2022. This is the last fish I think we caught of 2022. But yeah, I mean, this is a sizable onaga, you know. A lot of guys catch like the 3, 4, 5 pound ones. This one was like, I think closer to 17 pounds around there. So really good size, provided a lot of meat for, you know, all of our family, all 3 of our families. And we got 3 of these prints for, you know, each of us, as well as the Nanko shop. Last but not least, we have my most recent Gyotaku, which is this Kagami. That was 19 pounds and done by friend's friend, Brenton. So this guy, he's locally based as well. He is someone that I got referred to by Rev and Kai, which is, you know, his good friend. So very blessed, very happy that he was able to, you know, take my Kagami at such short notice, and I really appreciate, you know, the time and details that he put into this piece. Yeah, this is a really, really nice piece. He really captured the colors. This is a really more modern style kind of Gyotaku that really, you know, really captures all of the colors of the fish. And I'll show you in a sec what the Kagami looked like when we first caught it. But the story behind that was, you know, it was just a slow day. We had taken a hit on, I think it was an Ono that shredded one of my skirts on the way to this new spot. I was fishing with my friend Noi. My bimini was broken at the time, so we were just getting fried in the sun, and, you know, Noi basically told me, you know, we should try this new spot. I was like, all right, I'm down. So we go there, we drop some live bait. Can't say what the secret bait was, but it's pretty obvious because you'll see it in the video. And this thing just hit immediately once it hit the bottom. I thought that it was stuck, but it was not. It was this guy, and I pulled him up on my Speedmaster and was very, very stoked. Yeah, last thing, this is kind of my list of fish to Gyotaku. As you can see, you saw the Shibi, the Moana Kali over 2 pounds, Kagami, which was 19 pounds, first Ono, which was well over 20 pounds, first Ulua, which was the Omilua up here, and then an Onaga over 4 pounds. So I have 3 more that I wanted to print, but we'll see if I'll ever get a chance to print those, because honestly, my wife is kind of pissed that I keep printing these fish and taking up all the beautiful wall space. But yeah, I mean, what's not to love about these? You know, they're artwork that has a story, and honestly, these are all beautiful pieces of artwork, in my opinion. But it would be cool to catch an uku over 10 to 15 pounds, a mahi bull that's over 20 pounds, and a pow pow. Pow pows are a bit tricky because mostly guys catch them diving, but I know the areas, but it's really, really hard to catch those because you got to be patient, you got to have a good breath hold, you got to be, you know, just right place, right time. So I doubt I'll get a pow pow, but you know, my friend Rev actually caught one on a jig that was like 14 pounds. So they're not impossible, they're just tricky and elusive. But yeah, that is the Gyotaku pieces in my office, and the Shibi that you guys saw upstairs. Hope you enjoyed this video. You know, if you want to learn more about Gyotaku, I would recommend going to talk to Naoki. He is the guy to talk to about Gyotakus. But thanks, guys.